Brennan and Ron. Melody was the music director at Unity of Key West and has moved up here. Yay! Good morning. Make up your mind. It's really that simple. I'm a Virgo. John's a Virgo. So when, So when we get up in the morning, every morning, we make up our bed. We make up our bed because for me, it lets me think when things are in order, when things are where they're supposed to be. And I look at myself and I go, I need to make up my mind the same way that I make up my bed. When I get up in the morning, I need to make up my mind, what kind of a day am I going to have? Is this going to be a great day where everything falls into place and it's filled with serendipity and synchronicity and just awesome experiences? Or is this going to be a struggle and things are going to go wrong and life is just out to get me? It's my choice what day I move into. And I have found by decades of experience in this teaching that the sooner I make up my mind, the better. That if I wait and have to rethink it, that means that something has happened that's put me in a position where I need to rethink everything. So if I can do it early and often, that's the best time for me to make up my mind. Because we are constantly setting spiritual law in motion. We're amazing, powerful, creative, spiritual beings alive and well on planet Earth. We direct this infinite creative power through our thought. It's not our brains that we are making up. It is the consciousness that fuels us. You know, when you think a thought, who thought that? We're not our bodies. We have a body. We're not our emotions. We have emotions. We're not our thoughts. We have our thoughts. We're not our stuff, like Michelle and Lissa are going to help us see in this upcoming workshop in class. We have stuff. I like stuff, but I'm not my stuff. Who I am is something that's almost indescribable. I have a sense of it. I have a sense of the greatness that I am, of the light that I am, of the power that moves through me. And when I allow that to move through me in a clear and definite way towards what I want, nothing is impossible. Miracles are an everyday occurrence. But I have to take it upon myself to get myself right with this creative process, to get myself in alignment with what I choose to have in my life. And when we do that, everything changes. I think it was 4 weeks ago today that would have put Nina in hospitals and rehabs. I'm just going to pull you right out of High Watch over there. Would have put her in hospitals and rehab for 3 months. And it had kind of become the norm. Nina's gone from this rehab place to that rehab place. She's back in the hospital. She's got this and that. And she sent a message, I think with Kate, that said she wanted visitors because she'd been in rehab and she was in quarantine this whole time, and that she wanted visitors. And I stood up here and I said, Nina Anin is asking for visitors over at Stone Creek Rehab because she's kind of lonely and would like to see her friends. And then I thought, wait a minute. No, I don't want to send her visitors. And you, those of you who were here, you remember I said, you can go visit her if you want, but I want us to heal her. To heal her. And I got agreement from everybody in the room that every day we would treat for Nina Anin to be out of quarantine. The Center for Disease Control no longer had their grips on her. She was out of quarantine. She was out of rehab. She was free to be, and that she would walk in those doors. It took 4 weeks, and Nina Anin walked in the Center for Spiritual comfortable with our limitations. We change them. We don't get comfortable with diagnoses, we heal them, because we are the ones that are in charge of our lives. We are the ones that are directing the law to create what we want to create in our lives, but we have to make up our minds. Something moved through me that day. I don't want to send visitors. There is power in this room. We do stuff at Center for Spiritual Living. We have things happen. And so we used that. We garnered it together. We focused it like a laser beam and created a different outcome. That is the power that we have. Ernest said, such is the power of right thinking, that it answers every question, is the solution to every problem. This is the power that we have when we make up our minds. Some people have made up their minds that life is a struggle and it's hard and there's never enough and that they're never going to be anything, that their parents had the last word on them, and they make up their mind and they live this amazing life of power and creativity only to manifest limitation and sickness and poverty. I've done that. I mean, you take this amazing power called Barbara Waterhouse and you focus it on poverty, and boy, I can do it. Until I learn that I don't have to do it, that I can do something different, that I can experience life fully, completely, joyfully. I can have more money than I ever dreamed possible. I can be married even though he has those traveling feet. I can be married to someone who's amazing. And I can do what I love to do. I can be who I have come here to be. When I learned that and I started practicing making up my mind, I mean, sometimes it would seem like it was drudgery. Maybe you have looked at an unmade bed and go, oh, well, why should I make it? I'm just going to get into it in a little while. Why should I do that? I would look at my unmade thoughts, my unmade beliefs, and say, why should I do 1,000 affirmations a day? Why should I tell myself this stuff, read this thing, play these, at the time, cassette tapes over and over and over again? Why should I do that? It feels like so much work. But I guarantee you, being broke, being sick, and being miserable is more work than anything you will put into making up your mind. Bruce Lipton, I love Bruce Lipton, talks about physical cells. And he says that the cell gets healthy or ill not based on what's inside of the cell, but based on the environment that the cell is in. And so you can take a healthy cell and you can put it in a sick environment, in a petri dish, and the cell will get sick. And conversely, you can take a diseased cell and put it in a different petri dish filled with all kinds of wonderfulness for the world of cells, and it will heal and get better. It is not our genetics. It is not what we've been exposed to. It is the environment that we find ourselves in that determines whether we're going to thrive or whether we're going to die. And so when we make up our mind, we are creating a different environment. When we come to Center for Spiritual Living Asheville and sing, we're creating a different environment. Do you know what happens to you when you get up out of your chair and clap your hands? Well, for me, I turn my microphone off and then the sound guy goes a little crazy. But when you get up and move around and smile and sing, you are releasing endorphins and enkephalins and neurochemicals that will heal your body. It will bring money into your life. And it will change the relationships that you have with everyone in your life. Doors will open, things will come together because you decided to make up your mind. You decided to put yourself in a different environment so that you could thrive, so that you could grow. And when we do that, miracles become commonplace. I want to share with you a recent miracle. We do stuff here. We do great stuff here. And I want you to know that this happened in less than 12 hours. First, it was a trip to the ER. And the ultrasound said, there are a number of masses on the liver. Then it was a CAT scan that said, well, actually it's just a dot. And then there was the last doctor who said, we don't know what this is. It could be anything. Why don't you just go home? In 12 hours. Such is the power of right thinking. Such is the power of changing the environment that the body is in. We don't start dying the minute we are born. We start healing the minute that we are born. We were born to heal. So it doesn't matter what kind of physical circumstance we find ourselves in. It doesn't matter what kind of situation we find ourselves in. We were born to heal it. We were born to change it. We were born to live the life of our dreams, period, end of story. But we have to make up our minds that we get to have that we're going to have that. I went through so much lack of self-worth when I was a kid that I had to go against that. But there was something in me always that knew it. 4 years old, I'm going around to total strangers. Excuse me, I'm a princess. Please help me find my family. And my family would laugh and they would chuckle and I was the big joke. I was serious. I'm a princess. I know I'm a princess. I know there's something better for me. Please, somebody help me. Help me find that. And then I found this teaching. And I was told that it is in you, that you are connected with all that is. That when you get right with your own thinking, with your own beliefs, with your own feelings and words and actions, you can have your life totally change. And I guarantee you, your life can totally change because I know mine did. I see lives change every day. Every day, every day, every day. It doesn't matter what's going on. It doesn't matter how crazy it is. You can create the life of your dreams. I was remembering Bernie Siegel. Remember him? Love, Medicine, and Miracles? He tells a story in his book about a man who was big grapefruit-sized tumors, was given up on by the medical profession and said, really, there's no help for you. We can't do anything. You're just going to die. And then somebody said, well, let me try one thing. Let me just try one thing. Let me tell this man that we have a new miracle drug that I just got permission to use it on him. It's specially designed for these tumors, and that we would like to have an experiment with him. We believe that this will make the tumors go away. He got the shot, woke up the next morning, and the tumors were gone. Completely gone. My sister Margaret, who's not here, where is she? She's not here this morning. She had a tumor the size of a softball in her uterus. And she was living down in Fort Myers and went to the doctor. She had just started going to a Science of Mind center, and the minister came to pray over her before the surgery, and they did a spiritual mind treatment, and she went in for surgery, and they opened her up, and there was no tumor.
Yes.
Just like that. Our bodies were meant to heal. Our lives are meant to be created in a clear and conscious way. When we make up our mind, heaven and earth comes together to open up the doors to have anything happen. Speaking of my sister. When John and I first moved here, and that's pushing 30 years ago. Pushing 30 years ago. Her oldest son wanted to get out of Orlando and came to stay with us and said, I love Asheville, North Carolina. I'm going to live here. He'd come up to get married and said, I want to live here. So he came back, and I remember him, and he didn't have a big metaphysical background. He was just a regular kind of guy. And he said, I will live here. He said, I will do anything to live here. He said, I will clean, I will cook, I will deliver, I will do anything I need to do to live here. He made up his mind. And then he opened up the paper. That was when we used to have papers. And he looked at the want ads, and Pace Analytics was hiring not the level of chemical degreed person like he was, but a much lower position. He said, great, this is my field. I ran a water testing lab in Orlando. I can do an entry-level position here easy. And he went there and he introduced himself and said, I'm here for the job. This is what I used to do. Here's my resume. This is who I am. And the people said, is this a joke? And my nephew said no. And they said, we just lost the person who runs the lab yesterday. Yesterday. So he didn't get the entry-level job. He has run Pace Analytics here for decades, and they just moved him to Pittsburgh for a very big promotion and raise with an offer that he just couldn't refuse because he made up his mind. People go, oh, there's no jobs in Asheville. Of course there are. Oh, there are no people in Asheville. Of course there are. Don't get fooled by the rumpled sheets. You are better than that. Don't get fooled by the old thoughts, by somebody else's idea, by somebody else's experience. You are better than that. You are the entire universe in form as you. You are creating from the quantum level, collapsing into form every nanosecond. You are all the power and all the glory of God itself. When we make up our minds, when we put ourselves in an environment that uplifts us and inspires us and supports us, we cannot help but heal. I don't care what the diagnosis is. I don't care what the picture is. I don't care what somebody said with a white coat on. I don't care what the bank statement is. I don't care what your mother told you. You are better than this. You were born to heal. You were born to thrive. You were born to be who you have come here to be. The only thing in your way is some rumpled sheets. The only thing you've got to do is make up your mind. And so it is. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And now, as our welcomers come forward, I'd like to know who's in the building for the first time. Who's here for the first time? We have Reverend Dr. Susie Shadle from Tampa, and I forgot your name. Lisa with her. Welcome, welcome. Who else do we have? Welcome, welcome. You look so familiar. You're here for the first time? Boy, there's some kind of connection here. Welcome, welcome. I'm glad you're here. Alice, all the way down on the right. Do we only have one person? Here we go. Okay. And welcome, welcome. Who are you?
Reverend Victoria Loveland-Cohen from Chapel Hill.
Welcome, 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 welcome. I'm delighted that you're here. Yay. Oh, and Carol and Brian's friend, Christy. Welcome, Christy. I'm glad you're here. Yay. Oh, and more. Oh, we have more. Who are you?
I'm Dave. I'm from Southern California.
Welcome, Dave. I tell you, this is, forgive me, Dr. Susie, but I think this is the best center ever. It is today. This is a place where miracles are an everyday occurrence. They just happen over and over and over and over again. Not only do we walk on fire, not only do we pull money out of thin air, but we heal. We heal together. We do it in love and joy and friendship and music and food. We have got it going on. So I'm delighted that you're here. If you give us your name and address, we'll let you know things that are going on at the center. If you just want email, click email only. And these wonderful people have a gift for you out in the foyer. Yay. And now I'd like to invite our prosperity acceptors to come forward. Take out what you're going to give. And more, I know people in this room give by myriad ways. So I want to thank you, whether you're putting something in the basket this morning, or whether you put something in through PayPal or the donation station in the social hall, whether you're part of the auto giving program or whether your bank sends in your checks, thank you. We are solid. We are strong. We are prosperous. And because of that, we are on a firm, solid foundation to be able to reach out to the tens of thousands of people that watch us online, to be able to reach out into South America, to have books translated into Russian on our website now. We are firm and solid to be able to do the work that is ours to do. So I want to thank you so much for your generous contributions to this center today. Yeah. So I like to put the gift on my hand, cover it with the other hand, and bring it close to my heart. And what I know is that God is the source of all supply, that money is God in action, and that there is plenty of God to go around for all. I know that this flow of money into our life blesses us, and as it passes out, it blesses this center, and it blesses all of the lives that this center touches. I know that each one of us stands clear in our prosperity, in our abundance, and in the awareness of the blessings that we all have. I know that we all come together this day to make this center all that it was ever meant to be. It is a place of peace, a beacon of light, a tower of strength, and a fountain of wisdom that touches the lives of all who call it home. And we'll repeat our investment affirmation together aloud. I freely and joyously give from the abundance and fullness of my overflowing wealth, knowing my gift goes with love as it touches and blesses the world. And so it is.